Megan, say something.
I can't hear Smitty.
Megan, lead off the show.
Pop off?
No, lead off.
Oh, lead off the show. Okay.
You lead off the show.
Welcome into Pick Central. Right now, it looks like we're having some technical difficulties. I know that Smitty's in because that's the only person I can see. I'm in today. Sounds like, Ev's in. What's up, Ev? Looking great. Marty, looking fantastic. We are sponsored by the Barstool Sports book. It is the best sports book that is out there. And if you need a parlay plus, if you need to bet on the big game this weekend, I would say go Birds. I'm in a lot of green, but I'm leaning towards the Chiefs until we get these audio issues fixed. I don't know why this has been 2 days in a row, but maybe the booth could get it together. Shout out booth. But yeah, 1-800-GAMBLER. If you have a problem, you must be 21 years or older. Make sure you go check out the Barstool Sportsbook. It's the only place that I place my bets. And I think it's the only place you should shop for lines as well. Speaking of which, lines, can we hear each other? Are we ever going to hear each other?
Not
Who can
yet.
hear me?
Things up
there we go. There we go.
Yay!
Megan just did like a full monologue.
Oh,
You just did our ad read.
I was trying to just fill in Smitty's words.
What'd you say?
You're good, man.
Yeah, it's bad.
You're good. So Pick Central, we got Mush for a couple minutes, and then he's off, and then back, and then Big Ev and Megan making money, and lots happening. A lot happened last night. We'll get to the big game in a little bit. There's a stat that should be great for me, but I'm petrified about. We'll get to that. NBA, man. NBA. Can you guys fucking believe it? Can you absolutely fucking believe what happened last night? It's bananas. It's crazy to think that Doc Rivers can go into his old place where he won a championship with a full and healthy squad, and Marcus Smart's down, Robert Williams isn't playing, Al Horford's out, Jaylen Brown is out for 3 quarters, and you still get your dicks kicked in by almost 10 points. It's incredible. And on top of that, Blake Griffin is coming out saying, and I quote, "They just didn't adjust," which has been sort of a thing. Blake Griffin played for Doc Rivers for the past 5 years of the Los Angeles Clippers.
You had to jerk off to that comment. When I saw Blake Griffin say that, I literally pictured you being like just like saliva coming out of your mouth because you say it every day.
I mean, it is what it is. People are saying, "Oh, Philly sports are in a great spot. You have the opportunity to win 3 championships in 1 year." Okay, number one, Philly's lost, but that was better than what people expected, especially towards the end. Eagles should win, and then they got the Sixers, who should be in the finals. They should get past the second round, but I don't know if enough players are going to get traded out of the East for that to be able to happen. Plus, you got Doc Rivers, who just won't ever make it past the second round. So that's that. Whatever. I might just hijack this entire show until everybody moves to Chicago and they get a new cast and just try to advocate for a new Sixers coach. That just might be my prerogative here because I don't care anymore. I don't care. Doc Rivers is fucking abysmal.
Are we just going to gloss over the biggest trade of the day, though?
Doc fucking Rivers, man.
Josh Hart got traded to the Knicks.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, we're just not going to talk about it?
That was a
There's been some great memes coming from that. That's what I've enjoyed.
That was a great scene of Jalen Brunson at his Villanova retirement night and seeing that his guy.
That's genuine. That was genuine.
Coming home. So, yeah, the Durant trade, obviously the biggest. I mean, that's huge. Shakes up everything. Everybody's leaving the Brooklyn Nets, and Ben Simmons with his alleged dick in his hand. That's a shame. I feel bad. Feel very, very bad for my alma mater buddy, Mikal Bridges. Just signed a huge deal with the Suns, like 4 years, $20 million a year, and he was balling out, and now is just ostracized to Brooklyn with Ben Simmons. I mean, that sucks. I mean, as bad as you can feel for somebody making $20 million a year, but
I don't know how I'm feeling. Did you see Kyrie's? I know Kyrie's crazy. I don't agree with anything he says, but like, did you see some of his comments being like?
I did. I watched.
He got out of there like it wasn't. I'm starting to almost think the Nets really might have a problem in the in the office.
Well, you saw that with Steve Nash being named head coach, who like clearly isn't head coach. Mm-hmm. I mean, you see it with them having to deal with James. I'm not saying James Harden's the most pleasing person to deal with. I mean,
He wanted out fast.
He wanted out pretty quick. Yeah, obviously Kyrie and even KD allegedly just picked the Suns. Said, "Get me there."
Get me there.
You gotta think that's not some new thing. They were talking about that last year.
Yeah.
The Suns thing is not just some like new thing.
True.
Like he clearly has been interested in wanting out for a while.
Is that a Chris Paul thing, or is that?
I think it's just like they're the best. Like they're the most realistic team they could go to win a championship.
It's crazy. It's crazy, and now the West is absolutely stacked.
Ridiculous.
Just.
I mean, think about.
Imagine being an actual Nets fan, like one that really watches every day, and your team is.
We got one out there. It was
Yeah.
been yelling all morning.
Yeah, but he doesn't actually. He
doesn't
hates
watch.
the
He just
Nets.
hates the Nets. But you're watching them. You're second in the East for most of the year, third in the East.
They're 35 and 22 right now, to my understanding.
Kevin Durant's not playing, and you're still doing well. And then all of a sudden you trade everybody, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, imagine just being a Nets fan. Don't care about the nonsense. Just like, we're in third. What is going on? That's and also doing a trade that late, like waking up to it is exhausting. Like
I woke up to it. I didn't see
woke up
it
to it, and
last
I'm
night.
like, what the fuck is going on?
But the West it's an absolute powerhouse. One through, God, I mean, you have the Suns. Yeah, you have the Warriors who are without Steph right now. Okay, we have to talk about D'Angelo Russell going back to the Lakers. Is that one of the worst trades of all time, Rudy Gobert?
I've said it from. I've been a Gobert hater since like day one.
I mean, the Timberwolves, they were fucking last year. They were fucking hard. They gave Memphis a run for their money in the playoffs, and they were looking good, and things were up. And then you just get this just statue to come in and give up all your draft picks for the next 6 years, and now they're selling again.
And
no draft picks.
And started COVID.
Yeah, he started COVID.
I just don't.
Actually, he probably saved a lot of lives. Let's give him some credit.
I was, to be honest, in real, he sped up COVID. Actually,
Rudy
sped it
Gobert
up.
probably
Yeah.
saved
Literally
a
sped
lot
it
of
up.
lives. People don't talk about.
That's a good point. I've never thought about it from that angle.
It is crazy, though.
interesting.
he made the shit go.
Like no one really gave
He,
a fuck
he,
until
laughed,
the NBA
he laughed
was
in the
canceled.
devil's face, and the
That's
devil
a
knocked
TV
on his door.
show, the way he did it still. Like the fact he's like, oh, touching everything.
Like a Curb episode.
That was the
Literally
funniest
next
thing
day.
ever.
But I
It was so funny.
I just don't understand watching like today. If you watch today, the last like 10 years of NBA, I just can't fathom how you've like, especially someone like that. You're obviously the guys in their front office, their ownership wanted this move, and you look at a guy like Rudy Gobert, who is literally getting like shunned out of the game. He's one of these defensive players of the year. I get it. I know the analytics guys love him, even though he can't win to save his life. They would go to the playoffs every year. They'd be a 1 seed the year before. They get smacked in the second round. He's a liability in the game. He can't shoot free throws. He's not athletic. He can't score. I mean, I just don't understand how in today's game you look and you're like, you know what? Rudy Gobert's our missing piece.
I don't think they look at him as a missing piece.
But they did. They literally gave up everything. We're like, all right, this is the guy. Like, this is going to get us from like a middle of the range, like 6 seed, like 8, like 5 seed, to like competing for a championship.
You put it on.
When you're putting that like that type of assets for like one all-star player, that's clearly what you're saying. Like, this is our missing piece.
Look, you put it on paper, and the year is 1986. Karl Anthony Towns next to Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, but it's 2023. It's not 1986.
I have to go, but is the Lakers? The Lakers.
I think the Lakers did great in that trade.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, Lakers.
I've been Westbrook stinks.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
a great trade but they must.
They got a
be
less
gearing
selfish
up.
guard.
They got to be gearing up for something else, right? Because Lakers are trading Thomas Bryant to the Nuggets for Davon Reed and 3 second-round picks. Like,
Did that just drop?
That just dropped. Like, what is that? Is that just like gearing up for something?
They're just mortgaging for somebody.
So I was talking to
no
resident Laker fan Kareem, and he was trying to tell me that the Jazz got quote
Shocker,
unquote
Kareem's a Laker
quote
fan.
unquote fleeced, and I couldn't believe that Lakers fans were celebrating for a fleece of Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley. That's not fleecing anybody.
No one got fleeced. For
Yeah,
that.
no one's getting fleeced.
No.
I do think they did great.
That's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
good-
no,
I
don't
think the
get me wrong.
Lakers did great.
I mean, Westbrook need to get the fuck out of there anyway, and he'll get bought out, right? Like, he's not
Yeah,
gonna.
he's not safe.
Yeah, no, they're not going to keep him on the.
I
They're-
did say,
they're
imagine
firmly
like
tanking
getting.
now.
Oh, where am I getting traded to? Utah. It's like, oh,
Nah, he ain't going to go
God,
there.
I gotta go to Utah after LA.
I wonder how long until people just don't want him on their team anymore.
Nah,
How long is it till
someone
they
will
realize
always-
this guy's a cancer to your team
someone
and you
will
won't
always
win with
win.
him?
Do you think, Ev, he gets to Carmelo territory where all the NBA fans on Twitter are going to be like, he needs to be on a team, and everyone else who like kind of sees it how it is, like,
You know what the problem is, Ebo? He should be treated way worse.
yeah, I agree.
He's way more selfish. He turns the ball over way more. He's way more ball dominant. I've always said to this day, I mean, I'm a Knicks guy. Carmelo's one of my favorite players, so call me biased if you want. That's fine. I always thought he got a harder rap than he deserved. You could, like, I don't know, you could point to his defense, whatever, I get it. But I just feel like there's been more guys like a Westbrook who's been far more selfish. He may be more athletic and maybe be able to, like, fill the stat sheet more in all these different categories, rebounds, assists, steals, blah, blah, blah. But just in crunch time, and he's just inefficient shooting the ball. He turns the ball over constantly. He constantly at end of games is like choosing to take these shots when he has Durant's next to him and Harden's next to him and LeBron's next to him. And like it just makes no sense. It drives me nuts watching him play. He's like the best player to add to a team who's dog shit, who you want to be like okay. But if you want to make your team from okay to good, he's going to join your team and you're going to go from okay to okay. That's kind of how I see him.
Do you think LeBron listened to the show yesterday and heard you call him a trash GM?
He should have.
Fix it.
I would have been a better GM than LeBron the last 3 years. It's a fact.
You know what
Pretty
the
good
funniest
trade.
part of that trade is? Is now Scottie Pippen Jr. and Malik Beasley are now teammates.
Very funny.
It's so funny.
That must be tough. I mean, there's been some weird locker room situations that people have talked about. Didn't like Paul George was dating Doc Rivers' daughter, then like knocked up like a hooker or something?
Yeah,
or a stripper,
something like that.
Cheated on his coach's daughter with a hooker or a stripper. And imagine having a coach like someone doing that to your daughter. You just have to coach their son or their significant other.
Seth Curry is Steph Curry, or Seth Curry is Doc Rivers' son-in-law, and Doc Rivers traded him to Brooklyn.
That's wild. But in my understanding, he at least in that was, as far as we know,
civilized.
Yeah, it was they still were dating or married or whatever.
Imagine trading your kid away.
Elijah Pippen's
your
like
son-in-law?
60, isn't she?
She's up there.
She still looks good though.
She looks great.
All those pictures are highly edited. I've seen some ones where she's that are not edited, and she looks like, I'm not one to judge, so whatever, but she does look kind of scary. Plastic surgery scary.
Oh yeah, she's probably at close.
Huge bazongas,
She's probably-
but looks scary.
Yeah, she's probably at close to 7 figures in
Has
plastic
anybody
surgery.
used the phrase bazungas since like
I didn't hate it because she does,
I loved it.
she does indeed have bazungas. That's a fact.
I don't know if that's a word, but I appreciate you.
It is a word.
It up.
I like to drop warlocks every now and then. From Superbad, when they says warlocks, it's very funny way to describe Tiff.
Updated NBA championship odds. Amazingly, 3 of the first 5 teams, most favorite teams, are out of the East. You got the Celtics, naturally, plus 340. The Suns just jumped up to plus 450. Then you got the Bucks, plus 500. And then the Nuggets, plus 600, which, I don't know, Ebo, you want to defend that one? You think Jokic can just power his way
Why don't
through
they
the
like to
entire
be
West?
called? Why don't they like to be called the Nuggets? I remember when we went live and we had like a bet for the Nuggets. Like we couldn't say Nuggets in the bet. Why don't they like to be called the Nuggets? I think it's very strange.
Dank Nugs? I don't know.
Their name, yeah, like Nug. Maybe because it's like Denver and they don't want like the association with like Nugs and Nugs.
See, I thought they'd lean into it.
No
Like,
idea.
I remember like getting high one time and tweeting like, why they don't just say like go Nugs?
Right.
Like, why is it not like a thing?
Yeah, it should be.
Go Nugs, like
Absolutely
go
should.
go Nugs.
And then
Let's make it a thing, Ev.
And then the Sixers wrap out the top 5 of plus 1,000. I mean, they're Sixers. I mean, yeah, they're second in the East. Embiid's a beast. I just don't trust him. I don't trust the coach. I don't trust how they mesh.
What were the,
Tobias Harris is having an awful year again. Furkan's requesting a trade. I mean,
That's
our pets'
hilarious.
Heads are falling off.
Furkan requesting a trade.
It's like, sure, man, go ahead. Get a.
What were the Bucks odds again?
The Bucks are plus 500. I mean, Bucks are always going to be there. Bucks have the core.
I weirdly kind of think we're going to get a. I guess not weirdly. They're 2 of the top favorites, but I think we could see a rematch from 2 years ago.
I think
That's what I would pick right now.
I think so.
I think Durant's that much of an X factor. I think they're, as long as they get like Booker gets back, like they're all healthy, they're like back together. The Suns, Durant gets back healthy, they're good. That team's going to be just having to defend Booker, Ayton, and Kevin Durant is just insane. And as much as I love to talk shit about Chris Paul, those three with Chris Paul around him is still.
Oh yeah, and Chris Paul doesn't.
phenomenal.
If Chris Paul keeps delegating and being the point guard, I know people talk shit on him, and rightfully so. If he does that and he's able to still make his elbow jumpers, like you're not going to be able to. You're not going to have to do much. I mean, Booker. I think he's somehow underrated as a scorer.
He probably is.
Like
he probably is. Like if you just pure score right now in the league, I mean, he's top 10, like easily. I would say
easily,
probably top. See, it is tough because when you still have guys like Durant and like Luka and like some of these guys, but he's probably in that like 5-ish like range in terms of pure score. I think that's reasonable.
And then you got the Clippers plus 1,200, the Warriors plus 1,400. I mean, they're just going to be there.
See, the problem is their record's so bad.
They just give up on the road. They don't want to play on the road
It's
at
been
all.
weird. They had that weird
Steve Kerr's advocating for a 72-game season. Like, they just don't want to play until the playoffs. And can you blame them?
That's because they're a team. I've said from the beginning. I'll always, if they're in the playoffs, they can beat anybody. I truly believe that. But it's been weird this year. They haven't played well. Curry's been out some time. Clay's missed some time. They've just had a weird like season coming off the championship.
And there's tons of value here. The Grizzlies plus 1,400. The Cavs who do just play well in and out every night. I don't think they'll be there in the end, but they're a good young team plus 2,000. Mavericks plus 2,000. Heat plus 3,500. The Pelicans, and we'll stop there. Lakers plus 6,000. Pelicans, Megan, they're plus 5,000 right now. You think that's a little disrespectful, especially after Ben Mintz announced happy hour night?
Well, that's what I was just about to say. I mean, what did no one else get the message that Ben Mintz and I are hosting a Pels happy hour? I don't know the date. I have to go check that, but I'm sure Ben Mintz didn't know what time the meeting is tomorrow, but he knows the date of the happy hour. So I guess we're good there.
Do you follow the Pelicans?
March 11.
March 11. Do you think that they can make noise if they're healthy?
I don't follow the NBA a lot. I mean, I'll watch it if it's on, but I don't bet on it. But I'm going to cheer for the Pels, but I mean, I think that any NBA, I know this sounds ridiculous, but I feel like any NBA team can really make a run if they're healthy. Like, it's kind of like any given Sunday. They're all grown-ass men as long as they're healthy and want to play, which is my issue with not wanting to bet the NBA because I don't know who wants to play. Like, it's just, it drives me insane whenever I go look and I try to, with 3 blogs? Oh.
Yeah, we got
up Ben Mintz.
We got to do a breakdown of this.
Yeah,
I'm bogged
this
down
is great.
between the happy hour and Hogs for the Cause. I just don't have any time for NBA betting. He's got me kind of running around down here.
So Ben Mintz daily report, and I'll give Mintz credit. He's been sending daily reports. In this first week, he said he told us that he received. We didn't see what he said, and I can only imagine what it was. But the first week, he got responses out of Dave that said, like, good job, like, keep it up, which is incredible because
He said he also got
Dave
one,
doesn't respond.
like, this isn't good or something.
yeah, slow day or something.
Yeah, slow day, that's what it was.
But Mintz's blogs from yesterday, he had 3 blogs, and he also had 3 videos which corresponded to the blogs. Dave sent out a tweet, like, should he count that as 6? I'll give Mincy credit here. Like, I think he should. I think he can count it as 6. I don't think most people would out of, reality. But, like, I think semantically speaking, he can count them as 6. And
I just
then,
love the other stuff.
yeah. Lined up. Shouldn't other stuff go at the bottom?
Other stuff.
Other stuff. That was the 2 phone calls to me.
in the chronological, unless it was just pure chronological order.
He did other stuff. Lineups and outdoor content.
So I guess he
I might
did a
defend.
video, throw it on the blog.
I'm going to defend Mincy a little bit. I think other stuff might be a header, and then he forgot to number the things underneath it.
Do you think?
I think other stuff is a header there, and then he just didn't keep the format
content,
consistent, so
work
it
on
looks
No,
like
that makes sense. Okay.
But it was, I think it threw because he hits you with the double stuff.
Yeah.
Stuffed you, and then he stuffed you again.
I'm going to start sending Gaz emails in my weekly updates that just say stuff.
The old double stuff for you. Love you, Mincy. I wonder if he's going to be back on Pick Central in Chicago.
Also,
Find out.
Jay Crowder, he's a buck.
Oh, is that just in?
5 second-round picks.
That feels fake.
It's like a slap in
Real.
the face, kind
It's
of.
real.
That feels like you go in
Okay.
the NBA trade machine and you just drag everything over until it works.
Who's up? 5 will do it.
What are the Nets doing?
They're accumulating draft picks.
Yeah, I mean, 5 second round. Okay, I mean,
they're-
Jokic is a second-round pick, so, I mean,
They're just. Think so. Basically, in the last, by giving up Durant and Crowder, they have now Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, 4 first-round picks, 5 second-round
They have
picks.
Ben Simmons.
So they have 4 first-round picks and 5 second-round picks.
Like what? Like what? I can't imagine.
I'm not even a Philly guy. Like he hasn't hurt me at all, and I still hate Ben Simmons. Maybe
I
almost
mean,
as much.
what?
He's done nothing to hurt me. I've said it ever since I watched the documentary he did in high school or college.
Yeah, it was
I realized how much of a gigantic asshole he was.
The
The moment he was 18 to now, nothing's changed.
old takes of Spose going around when he was first traded to the Nets. He was asked what's going to be like playing with Kyrie and Durant, and he just simply said it's going to be scary. It's going to be scary, all right. Scared him right the fuck away, Ben.
They said, Ben, come join us for the playoffs. He said, I'm good.
Look, the best thing Ben Simmons ever did was go to LSU. Let's give him that, okay? Let's
You
just
didn't even lead him
there.
to a winning record, Megan.
That's okay. That's the best thing he
They were
did.
terrible.
Give him a tiger. Give him a
You want to
Go
know
Tigers.
what's crazy? And this is going to sound nuts hindsight, but if you remember, it was the dead ass truth. They weren't saying he was LeBron. They literally were saying he was the closest thing to come out like since LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
People were really saying that about him.
I loved the
Not
draft.
tongue in cheek, like dead serious.
I loved the draft because you saw the potential. He was in college a poor man's Magic Johnson.
Fine, but see,
Like in college. And you see the potential, and you're like, okay, if he develops a shot like LeBron, if he comes in, he's 6'10" point guard that can play all 5 spots on the court and defend. Like, I loved that pick.
no, of course, the physical attributes that like an 18-year-old.
You just didn't expect him to be such a mental fucking loser.
It was for me. I guess maybe the thing I watched was after it, but it wasn't even just that. It was also just when you have that elite of a player, I just don't know how you can't even bring your team to the conference.
It's
Or not, excuse me, to the NCAA.
It's wild because if you go back and watch Ben Simmons' rookie summer year highlights, he's shooting the ball, and he's not shooting lights out. He's shooting pretty good.
It's all a confidence thing.
He's taking fadeaway elbow jumpers. He's taking threes, and it's like, okay, this kid's going to develop into something, and then just shut off overnight.
Do you think the game changed too fast for him? Like, I think right when he came to the league is right when everyone started to shift to ball dominant, high usage 3-point shooters, and he doesn't really fit that at all. And he maybe tried to fit that into his game, and it just didn't work.
No, I think his own crew got into his own head.
I think so.
I think everyone's telling him, like, you don't need to change. Like, you're Ben Simmons. He's been told that he's the greatest thing since fucking sliced shit.
The next
Since he
LeBron
was-
James. That
yeah,
definitely got into his head.
since he was an infant, and he just grows up with all this talent. And,
Could you
know,
imagine being told you're the next LeBron James? Like, just like to hear that from someone, and like what would your confidence do to me? Like, if someone came up to you and you're like, he's like, hey, bro, you're the next LeBron James. Like, what would you feel?
I've never been, like, I've always been relatively shit at athletics. Yeah, I competed in, like, high school, but
No, but I'm
I've
saying,
never been,
like, if
I've
Division
never
III
had
football. Come on.
Yeah, back
I
up
watched
tight
your
end,
highlight reel, you were a stud.
Look,
Give yourself some credit.
when we interviewed Bryce Harper, like, one of my questions was like, because I've never experienced this. I'm like, dude, like, when did you like realize that you could be a major league baseball player? And he said that he sat his dad down when he was like 8, 9, 10 years old. Like, you're in infancy of Little League at that point, and said, I'm going to be the number 1 overall pick in baseball. It's like, wait, how? How did you know that?
Bregman was
How
doing
did you
stuff
feel
like that. Like Bregman in Little League, he was like 7 years old, turning like a triple play. It's like how the fuck, like it was insane. Like,
like
there's some people that are literally just born to be just ridiculously good, and then there's people like us that just sit around and talk about them.
Yeah, it's just it's incredible. It's incredible at that level. So I can't comprehend that. I just can't.
You know, I mean,
Ev, what about you? How would you feel?
I mean, if my knee didn't break down, things might have been a little different. Maybe you guys would be talking about me instead of me sitting here. No, I mean, when I think about like the Harpers of the world, like that's why I do, as much as I like to break LeBron's balls. On some level, he deserves a ton of credit. Where like LeBron literally was that guy. Like he was 17, getting literally jerked off by the entire world,
Chosen one.
and became literally the chosen one, the king. Literally put a crown on his head when he was in high school, and he became like more than we ever could have imagined.
We're the same year, 2003, graduated high school, and we remember like watching his high school games and thinking like, holy shit, this guy is a god already.
I remember just being like a child playing like CYO when he was like a senior and being like, holy fuck.
There were 3 players growing up which got covers of Sports Illustrated. One was Bryce Harper, one was LeBron James. You know the third?
Yeah, I do. It was isn't it Hunter Green? Oh no, he was in college. Hold on.
from Brooklyn, I believe.
Oh no, Felipe Lopez.
I'm not sure. I was thinking
Or
Sebastian.
Sebastian. Did Felipe, the guy that he went to St. John's, that he was from the city?
I'm not,
He was like a prodigy like that too.
I just remember Sebastian Telfair, and then kind of flaming out. He had an okay time in the league, I guess.
Sebastian Telfair?
Yeah.
He just got in a weird spot. Have you watched the documentary, whatever it is?
No.
Very good. I think he kind of got fucked up where I think he was going to get he was going to go to Louisville, and then Adidas was already kind of up his ass, and he kind of was I think he kind of got in a spot where I think he thought he might have got fucked if he didn't go to the league.
OJ Mayo, also touted, USC.
Yeah, Mayo was. He could remember he was on varsity as a 7th grader in California and this and that.
Megan should host the show. Thank you very much, Eagles Jackal. I appreciate that. We're going to talk a little big game stuff.
Smitty, I think you're doing a fantastic job. Whoever that is,
Whatever.
I appreciate the compliment, but I think Smitty is doing fantastic.
Thank you, Megan. I appreciate that. We got the chat up if you'd like to incorporate yourselves into the show. Hey, I'm just here doing what I'm told, whether it's here in New York, whether we get booted off going to Chicago. I mean, whatever.
I feel like I've
we
heard
have
that
to
3
do.
times. What is that about? Is there something that I'm missing?
I don't. Nobody tells us anything. There's no transparency. I just commute 2.5 hours each way to New York City to help out with Pick Central and do what I'm told.
Well, you're a fantastic.
Where is it, Ebo? Good God, did you give it to me? My apologies. Big news! A new free-to-use payment method is now available at the Barstool Sportsbook and Casino, and we highly recommend giving it a try. It's Skrill, baby. I've used Skrill before and regularly, and not just on the Barstool Sportsbook. I play online poker a lot. It's available for easy money transaction virtually anywhere you want it to go. Skrill is an instant, secure, hassle-free option whether you're depositing or withdrawing, and here's how it works. Select Skrill at the checkout. You enter your login, pay with your bank balance, Skrill balance, or pick any other option. I'm going to go ahead and pay directly from my banking account. Once I've entered all my online banking details, I simply confirm the amount and pay. If you thought and it looks super easy, it's because it is. For more details, head over to Skrill.com/Barstool and sign up for a free account. And don't forget to choose Skrill when depositing at the Barstool Sportsbook and Casino. Online gambling is legal in certain states. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. I do use Skrill. It's wonderful across all sites, but especially the Barstool Sports.
And for those of you who do not have Skrill and are in the chat, there's a pinned chat from the Barstool Sportsbook to go sign up right now.
And on Skrill, you can also transfer money from one account to another, and it's super duper easy, which is really helpful if you tailed my bets last night because you'd be broke. But that's neither here nor there. I had a question for both of you guys. I was thinking about it earlier. Since this is the first Super Bowl in a legal gambling state, do you think that they'll somehow make Wi-Fi better in the stadium so that everyone can just pour their money out? Because usually you can't even get a tweet out during a game, right? Because there's so many people in one spot. You would think that the China balloon or something would give us better Wi-Fi so everyone could just pour their bets out.
So I've only been at one
responsibly.
I've only been at one Super Bowl, and that was in Minneapolis, and you couldn't get a tweet out. You couldn't do anything.
Right. So what I'm saying is, though, in a legal gambling state, imagine so many people that are there that are wanting to gamble.
Yeah.
How frustrated would you be if you want to hit the Eagles live and you fucking are sitting there hitting your phone and just won't go through?
Yeah, I have no idea if anybody in the chat is a 5G expert. I have no idea if it's a practicality issue. If they can't do it, who knows? Maybe they just technologically can't have that service.
I was just wondering because I just thought about it.
Or if they're just holding it back from the people, which would be bullshit.
True, not true. I think they'd want people to put in these bets if they could.
I would think so.
I think just because when I go to when I had to go to all these college games this year, none of them I could have put shit up either.
Yeah.
I remember Tennessee. I was desperately trying to get the live over at the beginning of the game and just couldn't get it. It was driving me nuts, and it went over by a mile. There's too many people.
We'll talk about the big game. Okay, are we allowed to say SB at all, or is it just big game?
You can't even say SB.
Yeah, I can't even say SB. Okay.
Even though we just said it.
Said it twice. Big game. We've been hammering all week. If there's any other props or stats.
I had a little I'm sure my one got my stats Twitter guy. He had a couple of good stats.
Yeah, I got something sent to me which should be perceived as very good for the Eagles, but it kind of, and this is only from an Eagles fan perspective, it terrifies me a little bit. The Chiefs' defense ranks 32nd in run-stop win rate. The Eagles' offense ranks second in run-block win rate.
I did see that. That's when I saw as well. I did see that.
Which translates into the Eagles should run the ball down the Chiefs' dicks and be successful at it. Now, what terrifies me is that stat is so overglaringly obvious on what the Eagles should do that they're just going to come out and throw 30 times in the first 32 plays. That's what happened during the Saints game this year. Gardner Minshew starting, backup quarterback. Saints have one of the worst run defenses in the league, and you just pass. You just pass. It happened consistently during the Andy Reid era. It happened last year with Nick Sirianni. Granted, he's improved. It happened during the Cowboys game where they just ran the ball 4 or 5 times all game, and they got blown their balls off. I shouldn't be worried about that. I have complete faith in Nick Sirianni.
Do you?
I do. I have complete faith in the offensive coordinator, but I've seen that sort of stat so many times before as an Eagles fan, and it's so glaringly obvious that they should just put up a poll for Twitter and be like, what play should we run next? And you could be successful just going by the obvious on whatever response, and that they're just going to try to outsmart themselves.
That piece of paper is holding on for dear life.
Booze, do you agree with me?
I fully agree.
Is that a fear, like a rational fear for Eagles fans?
1,000%. It's like they've always done that. It's the obvious play, but they'll just do the opposite because they try and outsmart themselves.
I'm done.
So if they do want to go out there and they do decide to throw, I mean, obviously he's had 2 weeks to get healthy, but is Jalen's shoulder like 100% from an Eagles fan?
Hopefully. You won't know. He hasn't been as crisp, especially on deep balls in the playoffs. He hasn't needed to be. He will need to be.
Right.
And Eagles,
because you're going to run it down their throats or their dicks.
Yeah, both.
Or their both.
Yes.
Through the throat to the dick.
So this was a stat that would be in favor of Jalen Hurts. Well, just obviously, I think just counting off of the 2 weeks rest is nice. But so out of the 17 games the Chiefs played this year, I believe it was 11 the opposing quarterbacks threw 2 touchdown passes or more. And if you look at like the other 6 that didn't, they're like that's like Bryce Perkins, like just terrible quarterbacks.
Shots fired, Bryce Perkins.
We're talking third string quarterbacks. I mean, also this stat. This is more.
Oh, but I thought the Eagles played the cupcake schedule.
When I was saying it was more saying they played good quarterbacks, but they let up a lot of touchdown passes.
Oh, okay.
It looked like
But 6 games they're playing Bryce Perkins.
Six games they played like if you look at
half the season they're playing Bryce Perkins.
Shout out Bryce Perkins. He took Virginia to an ACC championship game, which is quite
I didn't. My intention was not for Bryce Perkins to catch as much slander.
I don't know if he actually took him to the ACC championship game, but he did beat.
I hope
Virginia.
he's not a Scully.
He's the only player that's beaten Virginia Tech from Virginia in the last 17 years. So he
actually played. He actually, all things considered, he actually played pretty well, being like a third string guy.
Ev's taking him, reeling it in. He's like, just in case.
I feel bad. I feel bad for Perkins. I didn't mean to slander him. I was just saying guys like him, and then Smitty just jumped on it. So I was like, all right, I didn't mean to.
Because of all the people. I mean, that's like just throwing a shot at Darren Ruff for no reason.
no reason.
You know, Darren Ruff has season tickets to the Suns.
Does he really?
Yeah, season ticket holder to the Suns.
Did not know that.
Yeah, they used him to court him over. He was in the meeting with Durant when they're like, yo, like Suns, me, you, the big two.
I also heard he works out with Jack Hughes, and they went a little too hard the other week.
Yeah, I heard he was the one. He slipped and knocked his skate into Jack Hughes and hurt his leg.
Yeah.
Well, this one. Shout out my guy Sheen's Bets. He sent me a good some passing prop stats.
Let's hear him.
So the last 4 Super Bowls, all 8 quarterbacks. Obviously, Mahomes been it twice, but you know what I'm saying. 8 performances. All eight quarterbacks threw for less yards than their season average 34 yards less. Mahomes props.
Okay, conveniently not counting the Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl, which was the highest yardage in NFL history.
Listen, he sent me the stat. Hear me out.
No, okay, so
I actually think it's a good. Let me get to the punchline. I actually think it's a good stat. It's more just for the prop. That's really what it's for.
Fair.
It's in Mahomes' prop line is 16 yards less than his year average. He averaged 308. The line's 292. Hurts is only 6 less. The average 246. Line's 240. Hurts, obviously, he's had the shoulder. He hasn't gone over 240 his last 3, but only did it 2 out of the last 9. So really, I think more. And he said also the Chiefs' defense has held opposing quarterbacks to under their season average in 6 straight. and their defense has held opposing quarterbacks to under 240 yards. Obviously, hurts his line in 5 of the last 6. And I think going off what you just said with the run game, I think Hurts under his passing yards.
Yeah, Hurts prop bets. I'm staying away from yardage and rushing just because you don't know how the game script is going to go. The Eagles are going to put up points. They are.
I really think they're going to. I don't think they're going to overthink it. I think they're going to run the ball.
That's where I would lean, but also Hurts has the ability to throw for 300 yards even when they are running the ball because the running game just helps out.
I agree with you. It's if you look at the Eagles season all throughout the year, it was always like a weird pattern. It wasn't really a pattern where either Jalen Hurts was passing the ball for over 200 yards or he was rushing the ball for like 150 yards. So it's like it was either one or the other.
So Hurts's props as an Eagles fan, I'm just kind of, other than touchdown, I think he's getting in the end zone at least once rushing the ball. Probably from a QB sneak. I'm probably staying away from specifically his passing yards because you just don't know how his script is.
I just feel like, to me, I could be totally wrong. I just feel like when I envision this game, if you told me Hurts threw for like 300 yards, I almost feel like that'd be a bad thing for the Eagles. I don't know.
It could be.
Yeah, you don't want to get into a shootout with Patrick Mahomes.
I just don't want. I just think if all of a sudden I looked at this, if I didn't watch the game and I looked at the stat sheet, and Hurts threw the ball like 45 times, I'd be like, oh, like that probably isn't good. If you told me he threw it like 28 times for like 210 yards, and then had like 60 rushing yards, I'd be like, oh, that was probably a good game script for them.
One thing I do agree or disagree with is Mahomes' prop yards line is 16 yards under. I think he's going over.
I think so too.
Like I think
they're going to have to throw the ball.
Exactly. I think he's going to be throwing the ball 45 times, and he's going to get yards. You can't stop Patrick Mahomes. You can hope to contain him.
Beep, 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 beep.
I know. I'm
Sixers trade.
Yeah, read it to me.
Matisse Thybulle to the Blazers.
4.
I don't have that information yet.
So we're just giving
It just
players
says
up for
the
nothing.
Trailblazers acquiring
Just to get rid of him.
Thybulle is a part of a 3-way trade with Charlotte.
3-way.
Okay, we're just giving up young talent for nothing.
Yeah, Megan got excited about that.
Matisse Thybulle. I mean, Matisse Thybulle, great defender, just never developed a shot. So, I mean, just what are you going to do with him? Sucks. It just sucks. Just all you need to do is spot up in 3 from 3 and be able to knock 2 down a game. And he.
That's it. That's all you got to do, man.
Like, seriously.
I can't. But somebody should.
The draft got to be a 3 and D guy, and he just can't. Just doesn't have a 3.
Well, he was a second round pick. So, I mean, it was kind of, found money with him. But it just stinks. Good kid. Whatever. Not getting anything back. It's just like, okay, what are we doing?
They received something in compensation.
I don't know. I don't know if they did. I mean, I like Daryl Morey. I trust him.
I mean, it could be just like a second-round pick.
Dame Lillard. Can you imagine? It's for Dame straight up. I would like that. You know what I would do? I'd do Matisse and Harden for Lillard, and they want that. I
mean, if I'm them, I'm like, no thanks.
Obviously.
I think they came out today and said he's not available.
Yeah,
he did. I mean, I kind of he has just dug his heels in the sand. I would just refuse to play for a winning basketball team.
Yeah,
unless it's in the Blazers, which is never going to happen.
Well, he's going to be the guy that's carrying like Nasir Little and Shaden Sharp and Joseph Nurkic, and he's like, "This is my team. I'm going to drop 60," and everyone's going to be like, "Why does Dame not
Nurkic
win
when healthy ain't bad." He's actually pretty good. And they got a couple guys. They got Anthony Simmons.
But I mean,
he's okay.
He's a chucker.
That's the guy you're bringing up. That's
Well, I like Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, I mean, but they're like we're talking about like just whatever.
I would love to be the best on a bad team. I think that'd be sick if I'm just dropping like 60 a game and like people are just like, well, trader, where does she need to go? No, I'm staying right here. I'm just
that's the one thing
right where I'm at.
When you look back on Dame's legacy. And people will be like, oh, like, he didn't win a ring, but they'll be like, but he's a real one. He's a real one.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
I guess.
And I do like Dame Lillard. I love Dame.
They'd be even more of a power player if they still had McCollum, who's still tearing it up with the Pelicans.
Yeah, that was a weird, because I really think I thought they played together pretty well.
They did.
Because McCollum's not ball dominant, really. Weird.
Booze, keep me updated if the real trade goes down, which hopefully will be Tobias Harris for LeBron.
Do you guys want a fun prop? I think it's a fun one to root for. I don't know if it's going to hit. But,
Well, I'd love a fun prop.
okay, I don't know if it's going to hit. I don't really have any analytics behind this one, but we have a prop. A punt to be down inside the 5-yard line, yes, plus 265.
I like that.
If you're the guy at the big game party just rooting for a good punt, you and the fellas just rooting for a great coffin corner punt.
Do you want to know what I thought was fun?
Actually, big update on the punters. We went in on Kern's punt props for the Eagles. Apparently, Zippos is coming back. So a little better of a punter than Kern's.
I think we should all make a team bet on the coin toss. Like a everyone in the booth and in the chairs today should all decide whether we want heads or tails, and I'll be excited if
Maybe we
it
all
hits.
flip a coin, and whichever one comes up more.
I'm a heads guy, no matter what.
I'm tails.
Yeah, I'm just heads.
Always.
That makes some sense. Makes some sense.
How?
Yeah.
How? No, explain your reasoning behind
I
it.
think because it feels like Big F seems like he might be a butt guy. He might like big, fat, juicy booties. And Smitty, you're a little older. I think you like to relax and just not really do much and like head better.
Checks out. It's rationale.
I got to say, though, I do love a nice pair of tits, though.
I mean, you gotta have. Both is
the-
great.
the,
Both would be great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't discriminate. I try not to.
Warlocks.
Oh, yeah. Couple fun bags.
Bazungas.
Couple fun bags.
We'll get back to the big game in a
was that? I
second.
just
Somebody
had-
said Tristan McKenzie for Cy Young. I love that bet. Love that bet.
Oh, the one I was going to say, John Rich was going through posted one yesterday.
I was going to bring that one up too. but
Unreal. It almost seems too easy.
It almost seems not real.
It was like it was basically for I think it was one. Was it one roughing the passer penalty?
Yeah, one
It
rough
was
in the
plus
passer.
like one. It was plus like 190.
Yeah, that's
I think he
love
said it
that.
went
Where
down to
is that?
140. It's 145 now.
Yeah.
Either team
But
can commit a
still.
roughing the passer. I feel like they're weird guys to commit roughing the passers on, but I feel like Mahomes is like.
no, but they're going to protect. They're going to protect the
No,
quarterback.
I'm saying Mahomes is so due to get like some call that like Grammer's one of these guys like lands on him hard and everyone goes nuts about it.
And John Rich's rationale makes sense. Like you feel like there's at least one roughing the passer in every single game, but
Feels like
apparently
that.
there's not.
Apparently not. It feels
It's
like that.
It's like the challenge prop over 1.5 challenges, which went down to plus 240 from plus 250. It's like
There's definitely gonna. There's
why
definitely
is
gonna.
that going to happen?
Yeah,
There's definitely gonna be roughing the passer. Like they're just there.
I think I have to play it.
I have to too.
What's up, baby?
You missed a big Sixers trade.
Sixers trade. Yeah. What happened?
And Jay Crowder.
They sent Doc Rivers straight to hell.
Marty, heads or tails?
Tails.
I'm happy with my decision.
What did Jay Crowder for who?
5 second-round picks.
Hey, we said Russell Westbrook. We talk about this more than we probably should. Russell Westbrook would be a phenomenal athlete in any sport. Probably would make the greatest greatest.
I'm
free
convinced
safety
he
of all
might be a
time.
better football player than a
his
basketball
prime.
player.
No,
But he would have made
100%.
He would have made less money, but he would have been a better football player.
Jay Crowder, would he be the greatest tight end in NFL history?
But I just think I could give you better options in the NBA probably.
I don't know, man. Jay
LeBron
Crowder
would
just
be a
looks
great
like a
tight
fuck. Well, yeah, I mean, there's LeBron, but
And like Zion, I feel like would be great. He's fucking
I don't
huge.
know.
Mo
he's kinda fragile, though.
Mo Alley Cox was kind of like a freak athlete like that, and he's been fine.
Wasn't he on VCU?
Yeah, he was like 6'6", but he was like a monster on the boards. Like he got
Yeah.
everything.
Fucking Jay Crowder just looks like a fucking beast tight end.
Yeah.
Maybe it just looks like Jadeveon Clowney would just make like a great D end with the locks, but whatever.
Is there any player in the besides Jay Crowder you think would just be like an unreal NFL player?
LeBron.
See, I think a lot of them would, because you have to be probably the greatest athlete to succeed in the NBA. It doesn't go the other way around. Obviously, LeBron could translate. But like T.O. in his prime, like tried out for like a D-League team,
Yeah.
and was just getting smoked.
How's J. Cole doing?
Smoked.
J. Cole?
I think he was playing in that NBA Africa League
Yeah, he
last
was.
year.
I actually, Smitty,
I don't know if he
I think
played well,
certain
but-
guys. I think if you had the real skill set, I think you might be like. It's tough. You just show like if you hadn't played basketball in like 6 years, you just showed up like playing G League. But I think that like there's a ton of guys who had like D1 offers like for basketball that went the NFL route. Like I mean, like have you watched like Randy Moss play basketball in high school?
Oh, he was
He could have went anywhere he wanted.
What do you
Actually,
think?
nuts. He played with white chocolate in high school.
What do you think would be like a harder thing to do, like an NBA player transitioning to the NFL or an NFL player transitioning
NFL to NBA.
Would be. I think it'd be hard. Well, in the NFL, it's so much easier to carve out like a niche role for them. Where in basketball, you're just like getting thrown in the court, and like there's not like you can't take them out play to play. Like in the NBA, you could be like, all right, like let's throw Jay Crowder a fade. Let's throw him a jump ball. Like you can't really like, or let's give like this monster like a run up the middle or something. Like we can't, like in basketball, you can't just throw like whoever on the court and be like, all right, just like do this.
And you say,
but also in basketball, they're not used to getting hit. Like those guys, you don't know if those guys can fucking take a hit or not. I feel like in football, like they've been literally getting their CTE like taken away or induced since they were like 7. Like they've just like I feel like that would be like such a hard transition to like not be scared to get hit for an NBA player.
Yeah,
sure, but that's why I think like it'd be just a little easier to like integrate them in the game. It's a little less like it's just a little slower.
Back to your Randy Moss point, yes, I guess high school Holly film was unreal, but just think about it. In college, if he went D1, he'd probably still do well, but if he's in the NBA, he's just another 6'4" guy.
Well, no, I agree with you, but I'm just saying I think there are some guys that could have like definitely done that if they stuck with it.
The real translation is who went to play baseball for the money that could have played in the NFL and dominated. Because there are players like that.
See, I feel like most guys like that.
Kyle Murray probably should have just played baseball.
I mean, he did.
Probably, yeah. I would have played. He was so fucking
He
stupid for
literally just
playing.
signed a massive contract.
So the only position he's a unique
He could have
situation.
played that time.
Yeah,
Steve.
he's a unique position because the only situation where I would choose football over baseball in the pros would be if you're like the number 1 overall quarterback.
100%.
Well, the thing
Like
is,
if you're Jeff Samardzija and would have been like a mid-round wide receiver,
Yeah.
play 12
Your
years on the
longevity
show
in baseball
and fucking
is
make 10
Well,
times.
also
problem
just being
is
a,
with-
just being a starting pitcher in general. You're like a solid like 3 starter. You're making 9-figure.
the only problem is though
Making over $10 million a year.
when you choose, you're most like you might not make it to the show in the MLB. Like you could just like it takes way longer, and then the NFL, you're going straight.
at-
What,
Yeah.
what
Look at
about
Drew Henson.
What
Yeah.
about Kyler Murray when he was drafted by the A's? He almost went to play baseball, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he wanted to try to do both.
Yeah, something like that. I think Patrick Mahomes
Can't
got
have
drafted
both.
though. Like so many of these people.
but
got
Tom
drafted.
Brady.
but what's his name was
Russell Wilson.
Murray was like legit.
Yeah.
He went like 9th overall. Like Brady,
They were like pissed
those
he
picks
went
were
to
like
football.
gimmick picks, like late rounds. Like what's his name? Like Manziel got picked by like the Padres in like the 20s.
Russell Wilson was a high pick, I think, wasn't
Wilson was high. His was not like a gimmick.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I'm pretty sure where Murray was slotted, he would have had like a $5 million signing bonus.
It's just incredible. You'll never see another Bo Jackson or Deion again.
You just can't.
Deion is just
logistically, it just can't work.
Deion played an NFL game and a World Series game in the same night.
And that's
Absolutely
just,
bonkers.
That's like
That's just like
Like
shit.
high school
and,
shit.
And the
That
MLB
should-
team hated him.
That should be talked about like every day. Like that's insane. That's not talked about enough.
that shit.
And they both were pissed at him by the end of it.
Oh yeah.
That's why like, they just make too much money now to do both.
And of course, they won't allow you unless it's
Like
the same owner.
logistically, everything it just can't it just doesn't work.
The spread, or excuse me, the spread is still -1.5. Megan, you were right yesterday when I said Chiefs were getting money. The Eagles are getting most of the money, and it's not moving. But the over/under went back to 51. It dipped down to 50.5. Still pretty high at 51.
The Eagles are getting more money. The splits are like the same though.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
It's like there's no like there like in terms of like the discrepancy in like the sharp.
I just need someone like really big to come in and like someone tell me about it before they put their money down so that I can bet whatever side they're betting on.
Nobody in Philly or Kansas City has Mattress Mac money apparently.
I was going to say there's no Mattress Max up in Philly. There's no like I don't know.
I don't know. I guess you can get like Kevin Hart to drop like 5 mil.
Rob McElhenney?
Yeah.
I know you got.
He works for a competitor. Chill out.
Yeah, he does. Talk about. But did you guys even like the people were kind of mad at McCaffrey's answer?
Well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't just the answer. It was. So Christian McCaffrey came out and said, "I would want both teams to lose." Okay, that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's him still bitching about not having a quarterback healthy enough to play. Jordy's blog is actually accurate. It's one thing to say, like, okay, Brock Purdy slipped and fell pregame, and Josh Johnson, like, got sick. Like, that's bad luck. A freak accident, taking a snap back and blowing out your ACL on your own, that's freak luck. they had the backup tight end covering or responsible for blocking Hassan Reddick, who has 17.5 sacks on the year, and Brock Purdy got hurt. Like,
Oh, that I understand.
those injuries got caused.
I understand that's a bad. The backup tight end on Reddick is bad, but I think I still think his answer, like, it still does suck to not have your quarterback.
Of course.
I think people are freaking out a little too much over his answer, where it's like, obviously he wants someone to win. He's not on the team. Like, that's just, I don't know. People just get very upset.
You guys think a solution for that is automatically having an extra roster spot? Because our friend of the program, Kirk Benkirk, like, could have been that third guy coming in, except he wasn't on the team anymore.
Yeah, that is true.
So having an automatic roster spot for an emergency quarterback and emergency kicker, because they affect the game so much, might not be the bad play. Like, why not do that? Why not create just an extra job?
Makes no sense.
That's smart. And I'm going to fuck everybody's day up. Why isn't the Super Bowl played on Saturday?
Give
me a good reason.
It's just fucking stupid, and then we should have Monday off. There's not a good reason.
It's not on Saturday?
Yeah.
That really, I don't know.
I mean,
I love college basketball, but
at least the game's at 6:30. It's not at 8:30.
Oh, people are talking about, make Monday a federal holiday, and stuff, which I agree with. Why not make it? What is going on that Saturday? Like, it could be the biggest Saturday of all time. You still have the weekend.
Well, Smitty, because I think traditionally, like, football is that the NFL owns Sunday. It's football Sunday. I think it's just
Super
like
Bowl
goes
Sunday.
along with the
Who gives a
with
fuck?
the lore of the NFL.
Who gives
I agree. Who gives a fuck?
It's
I don't give a
become
fuck.
the NFL, if they can override God and take Sunday, it's a commandment. You're supposed to obey the Sabbath. They killed God. Why not be able to move it to Saturday?
Someone's a good Catholic boy.
Always fucking it drives me insane.
Obey the Sabbath. You literally quoted that you are a good Catholic boy.
Well, it drives me insane when I don't know. I just think I'm not getting into that. Mush, your picks.
Yeah, I'll do my picks. Quick, did I put in?
Because the NFL. Look at the chat. I'll take Smith just because the NFL is on Sunday. Like, wait.
It's on Thursday and Monday too.
So yeah,
Thursday and
they
Monday.
play games on Tuesday.
Play games on Saturday.
Actually, played on Saturday as well.
We missed pretty much a whole season because of COVID. So I feel like the rules don't apply anymore.
Yeah, they
The
played
rules
two
no longer
playoff
fucking
games on
apply.
Saturday 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Like, doesn't matter.
No, yeah, that's dumb. I didn't put in my picks, but I have Purdue -8. I think it's just far too high. Big Ev, I have just a quick question. Well, why is Ohio State -5?
I couldn't tell you.
What?
I wanted to be on the other side so bad, but I was
Boy,
like,
oh
I did
boy,
not
do
want
they
to come on
stink.
here.
I think
I'm gonna play him.
I think it might be my favorite pick of the day. 5 points is a lot.
You think that's your ladder pick?
But it's also wild because they were like 8.5. They were 8-point favorites against Wisconsin last week at home, and you were like, no way, and they lost out.
Then that's where it's like, how do they not learn their lesson?
So I agree. I think they have to win.
Yeah, no, this is.
They have to
I
win.
think that's going to be my ladder pick because again, I'm 10-2.
But Marty haters need to start paying attention to the ladder pick.
It's insane. Like I'm 10-2 in my.
Even
last
if you're not
12.
running the ladder with him, like he's
just pay attention.
yeah, just pay attention.
I have Ohio State -5, and then I have who is it? Arizona -19, and then I have St. Mary's -7.5. Oh, and San Francisco +14 against Gonzaga.
We got LeBron basically being a bad teammate, not giving the ball up. Panthers and Sharks in a shootout tonight, and coincide with that, you got Tikakak with the first goal +902 points, and also a nice little Islanders Purdue money line for the kid. Get that juice down.
Let me hear that hockey name one more time.
Chukak.
I think you started with two different letters.
You pronounce it.
I don't fucking know.
It's Kachuk.
There we go.
It sounds like when you throw something in the water.
We got one ice.
We got one hockey guy under this roof.
George Hill still gone?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Pacers got him.
Back to his roots.
Have picks?
I got Iowa +8. We got Western Kentucky money line. Northwestern Ohio State over 136. I'm playing Ohio State too. I have to. Marymount +8.5. Stanford -3 and Oregon -4.5. I also will have a boosted parlay of Western Kentucky, Stanford, Oregon, all money line out at some point. The second it is live, I will tweet it out. God bless.
I'm on James Madison -3.5, Old Dominion moneyline, Moorhead -2, and Montana State -3. Hoping for a bounce back day, big time.
Man, you just made Evo move like you just saw a gaggle of warlocks.
I know. I texted Evo this morning. Me and Evo have been talking about the Dukes this morning.
Yeah, we lost a guy last night. He's not worth 2 points. I don't know what's the line is about.
Did you guys see the
Back to 4.
the D3 buzzer beater?
Insane.
Did you hear the announcer?
Yeah.
I think you can play that, right? It's D3. It's
Oh man,
I don't think we have enough time.
I wanted to bring
We'll
this
play
up.
it tomorrow.
We got
it's a minute. I swear, play it. It's fucking
We have to
amazing.
find it. We don't have enough.
I tweeted it. It's very.
Morty's like,
We'll talk-
I'm giving
It's
the material.
electric. It's gonna be old.
I'll talk
I
about
thought-
it tomorrow, and we have to talk about the high school basketball game that ended 4-2.
Yes, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's also.
What out of Hickory fucking high is that?
Is that like no? That's got to be no shot clock.
You're right.
high
You run
school, right?
so you run 4 corners with a guy in the middle, and you just hold for 1 possession.
It's an electric game.
We played it.
I mean, is Bob Cousy rising from the dead playing that game? What is that bullshit?
They had fruit baskets for hoops.
Smitty, you did a great job hosting today.
Thanks, Megan. I appreciate it. I
job,
appreciate
Smith.
that. We'll be back tomorrow. Pick Central. Maybe not in Chicago, but we'll be back tomorrow.